Hello and welcome to EuroConnect News. J.D. Vance's selection. Will his Indian descent turn the election tide?
James David Vance, born James Donald Bowman on August 1984 in Middletown, Ohio, is an American author, venture capitalist, and politician currently serving as the junior United States Senator from Ohio since 2023. A member of the Republican Party, Vance is the party's nominee for vice president in the 2024 election. Vance served in the Marine Corps and later attended The Ohio State University, graduating in 2009. He went on to earn a law degree from Yale Law School in 2013. Vance gained national attention with his 2016 memoir, Hillbilly Elegy, which explores his upbringing in the Rust Belt, poverty, drug addiction, and Appalachian culture. The memoir became a New York Times bestseller and was adapted into a film, garnering significant media coverage during the 2016 presidential election. Vance defeated Democratic nominee Tim Ryan in the 2022 U.S. Senate election in Ohio. Initially critical of Donald Trump during the 2016 election, Vance has since become one of Trump's strongest supporters. In July 2024, Trump selected Vance as his running mate for the presidential election, and he was officially nominated at the Republican National Convention on July 15. Notably, Vance is the first Marine Corps veteran to be nominated for the vice presidency. In the Senate, Vance has been a reliable conservative vote, advocating for populist economic policies and expressing skepticism towards aid to Ukraine. Due to the Democrat-led chamber, many of his sponsored bills have served more to signal his positions than to enact policy changes. Recent legislative efforts include bills to withhold federal funds from colleges hosting anti-Israel protests or employing undocumented immigrants, and a bill to cut off Chinese access to U.S. capital markets for non-compliance with international trade laws. Vance has addressed various themes at events like the National Conservatism Conference, where he spoke against immigration and U.S. involvement in Ukraine. He has also made controversial statements, such as claiming the UK has become the first truly Islamist country with a nuclear bomb under a Labour government, who converted to Catholicism in 2019, has supported a nationwide abortion ban after 15 weeks, but recently backed Trump's stance that abortion should be decided by states. He has also faced criticism for past comments comparing Trump to Hitler, which he no longer stands by. At the RNC, Vance received a warm welcome, particularly from the Ohio delegation, who admired his humble beginnings and youth. He was one of the first top Republicans to blame Democrat rhetoric for the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, suggesting that such rhetoric directly led to the incident. President Biden has labeled Vance a clone of Trump, highlighting the Democratic strategy to portray him similarly to Trump throughout the campaign. As the 2024 election approaches, Vance's trajectory from a memoirist to a vice presidential candidate underscores his significant influence within the GOP and the broader political landscape. J.D. Vance's wife is of Indian descent, which some speculate influenced Trump's decision to select him as his running mate, aiming to garner support from the Indian American community and potentially sway the election. Whether this strategy will be effective remains to be seen. We will be closely monitoring this story for further developments. Stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe and share for the latest updates.
Bobby Witt Jr.'s thrilling final swing, a home run derby showdown.
Bobby Witt Jr. unleashed his final mighty swing of the night and sent the baseball on a glorious arc toward dead center field Monday, with a crowd of 38,578 and a TV audience of millions more raptly watching its flight. As the ball descended toward the wall at Globe Life Field, two families, many down the right field line, others sprinkled on the grass, ringing the infield, and one atop the mound, delivering the pitch, experienced a roller coaster of emotions with each passing second. Whit, the Kansas City Royals' third-year franchise shortstop, needed the ball to clear the wall to force home run derby overtime against Teoscar Hernandez, the Los Angeles Dodgers' beloved outfielder, who was enjoying the biggest spotlight of his 9-year career.
Messi's ankle injury casts doubt on his immediate return to Inter Miami.
Lionel Messi shared an update on Instagram Monday, reassuring fans that he is doing well and hopeful to return to action, hopefully soon, after injuring his right ankle in the Copa America final, where Argentina secured a 1-0 victory against Colombia in Miami. Copa America is over, and the first thing I want to do is thank everyone for the messages and greetings. I'm doing well, thank God, and hopefully soon I can be on the court again, enjoying what I love doing most, Messi wrote. The extent of Messi's ankle injury remains unclear, as does the length of his potential absence from Inter Miami in Major League Soccer. He will likely miss 2 Inter Miami matches this week, Wednesday and Sunday, and possibly the MLS All-Star Game in Columbus, Ohio, on July 24th. Additionally, he could miss Inter Miami's first 2 Leagues Cup matches on July 27th at home and August 3rd in Houston.
Bitcoin soars on Trump re-election speculation and promising crypto regulations.
Bitcoin price rose on Tuesday, buoyed by the prospect of friendlier crypto regulations in the U.S., as traders speculated that Donald Trump will win a second term in the 2024 presidential race. Reports also indicated that the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, was close to approving exchange-traded funds that directly track Ether, the world's second-largest cryptocurrency, further increasing optimism over a better regulatory environment. Bitcoin rose 2.3% in the past 24 hours to 64,073.6 by 01:27 Eastern Time. Speculation over Trump helped the token largely rise past concerns over selling pressure from distributions by the defunct crypto exchange Mt. Gox, which had caused Bitcoin to crash to as low as $54,000 earlier in July. Bitcoin buoyed by Trump bets. Bitcoin's rebound came after a failed assassination attempt on Trump over the weekend was seen as greatly boosting the former president's popularity. This incident is perceived to have given Trump an edge over President Joe Biden in the 2024 presidential race. On Monday, Trump was officially nominated as the Republican presidential candidate and selected Ohio Senator J.D. Vance as his running mate. Trump has maintained a largely supportive stance towards the crypto industry, recently stating that the future of Bitcoin should be built in the U.S. and not overseas. He is also set to speak at the Bitcoin conference in Nashville later this month. A second term for Trump likely presents a more favorable regulatory outlook for crypto in the U.S., especially after a slew of crackdowns against the industry by the SEC and the Department of Justice in recent years.
Texas confirms 10 dengue fever cases amid unprecedented global outbreak.
Texas has confirmed 10 cases of dengue fever as U.S. health officials urge caution against the mosquito-borne disease amid a historic global surge this summer. The Texas Department of State Health Services reported that all 10 cases so far in 2024 originated from international travel. However, they warned that a small number of people in recent years have contracted dengue from local mosquitoes in southern Texas. The department highlighted that heavy, widespread rainfall from Hurricane Beryl earlier this month created standing water, ideal for mosquito breeding, and urged those involved in storm cleanup to protect themselves from insect bites. Unfortunately, many mosquitoes in Texas are capable of spreading diseases such as West Nile and dengue. These diseases are often mild, but some people will develop severe illness, said Jennifer Shuford, Commissioner of the State Health Department. It is important for Texans to know how to protect themselves against mosquito bites. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, issued a health advisory earlier this summer, noting that globally reported dengue cases have reached a record high in 2024. So far, a record-breaking 2,559 cases of dengue have been reported across 45 U.S. states and territories, including 218 in Florida, 143 in New York, and 40 in California, according to the CDC. Puerto Rico has declared a public health emergency after reporting 1,498 cases of dengue. The CDC warns that cases are likely to rise as global temperatures continue to increase.
Consumer sentiment holds steady amid high prices and political uncertainty.
American consumers seem to be in a holding pattern, recognizing that inflation is easing, but prices remain high, while a contentious election looms just a few months away. This is the finding from the latest University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Survey released on Friday, which showed a slight dip in consumer sentiment this month, remaining essentially unchanged from May. For the second straight month, consumer sentiment is essentially unchanged, said Survey Director Joanne Hsu. July's reading was a statistically insignificant 2 index points below last month, well within the margin of error. Although sentiment is more than 30% above the trough from June 2022, it remains stubbornly subdued. Nearly half of consumers still object to the impact of high prices, even as they expect inflation to continue moderating in the years ahead, Hsu added. With the upcoming election, consumers perceive substantial uncertainty in the trajectory of the economy, though there is little evidence that the first presidential debate altered their economic views. This is significant as President Joe Biden's uneven performance at the June 27th debate with former President Donald Trump left Democrats concerned, prompting some to call for Biden to step aside. The president, during a Thursday evening press conference, made a few gaffes but also demonstrated intricate knowledge of policy, especially in foreign affairs, affirming his belief that he is still the best person to defeat Trump, as he did in 2020. Although consumer surveys have shown a sour mood for some time, this has not yet significantly changed their purchasing habits. Inflation remains a top issue, especially for those aged 18-34, according to a recent U.S. News poll. The Michigan survey indicated that year-ahead inflation expectations dropped slightly to 2.9% annually from 3% a month ago. On Thursday, the June Consumer Price Index showed a better-than-expected 3% annual increase, down from 3.3% in May. However, the Producer Price Index rose by 0.2% in June, suggesting the road to the Fed's 2% target remains uneven. While prices for goods fell by 0.5%, the cost of services increased by 0.6%. The core index, excluding energy and food costs, remained unchanged. The Federal Reserve meets later this month, but Wall Street does not expect a change in interest rates before September, when a 25 basis point cut is viewed as highly likely. The big picture is that inflation pressures have moderated over the last 2 years, but are still a bit stronger than the Fed would like them to be, said Comerica chief economist Bill Adams. With the economy operating in low gear, the Fed thinks the right time to start cutting interest rates is close, but they are planning to cut gradually, slower than in the last couple of interest rate cycles, to ensure that inflation stays on a downward trajectory.
Thank you for watching EuroConnect News. Subscribe and stay updated with the latest global headlines and in-depth reports. See you soon!